Jupiter fills your entire windshield. You are falling at nearly 48 kilometers per second. There is no surface below you, and in 60 seconds, the atmosphere will try to erase you. Before the clouds can reach you, Jupiter's trapped radiation begins attacking the pod's electronics. That glowing world is 11 times wider than Earth, with more mass than every other planet combined. Near the cloud tops, gravity will pull about 2.5 times harder than Earth's. You will never hit land. The gas simply thickens until the word air stops making sense. At the entry interface, the pod turns its thickest shield forward. There is no second attempt. The first hydrogen atoms strike. In seconds, the darkness around the capsule catches fire. This is not burning air. Compression tears atoms apart, creating an incandescent plasma shock. Galileo faced a shock layer near 16,000 Celsius and a peak deceleration of 228 grams. A human would die instantly. Your fictional inertia cradle is the only reason you remain conscious. The plasma blocks radio. For the next moments, even a message from you cannot escape. The shield survives by sacrificing itself, carrying heat away one vaporized layer at a time. Drag finally wins. Your speed collapses, and the crushing force eases from impossible to merely brutal. Then the plasma tears away. For the first time, you are not above Jupiter, you are inside it. The upper haze is bitterly cold. Ammonia freezes into crystals that race past the glass. They look like snow, but breathing this atmosphere would give you no oxygen, only poison and pressure. A jet stream catches the pod and throws it sideways at hundreds of kilometers per hour. From Earth, these bands look painted on. Up close, each one is a moving world. Your depth counter reaches 0. This is only the 1-bar level, not ground, just a useful reference. Gravity pulls hard, but Jupiter's rapid 10-hour rotation also shifts your apparent weight and direction. Nothing marks your crossing. No splash, no impact. The atmosphere simply becomes heavier around you. Only a few dozen kilometers deeper, daylight weakens and a dirtier cloud layer closes around you. Ammonia clouds fold over the capsule, driven by heat rising from far below the sun's reach. Deeper chemistry combines ammonia with sulfur-bearing gases, producing darker clouds that stain the shield brown. Inside powerful updrafts, ammonia and water can freeze into slushy hailstones, large enough to batter the pod. Then the darkness turns white. Lightning crosses the cloud with more energy than the strongest bolts on Earth. The flash overwhelms your senses. On Jupiter, some recorded bolts carry roughly 10 times Earth's energy. Near 5 bars, water can condense. These deep clouds feed the planet's largest thunderstorms. Outside, the temperature passes a comfortable room. The pressure, chemistry, and missing oxygen still make it instantly lethal. A rising column catches you. Warm water vapor is climbing from depths no camera has ever visited. The sun vanishes behind kilometers of cloud. From here down, your lights are fighting density itself. Only one machine has sampled this descent directly. Galileo transmitted for 58 minutes in 1995. At 22.7 bars, your display marks Galileo's final pressure, more than 20 times Earth's sea level. That probe reached only about 180 kilometers below entry, barely a scratch on a 70,000-kilometer radius. Its signal died, and models suggest the probe was later vaporized. Your pod continues, where evidence becomes indirect. Below this point, no probe has reported back. Everything ahead comes from physics, laboratory experiments, and gravity measurements.
diverting
The
power
next
to
change
thrusters.
has no
Atmosphere
coastline.
is now a dense
Hydrogen
fluid.
will become a fluid around you before it becomes a metal. Sunlight is gone. Even your exploration beams travel only a short distance before Jupiter absorbs them. Pressure now rises faster with every kilometer because the hydrogen above you has real weight. Compression forces particles closer. Their collisions grow more energetic, and the temperature climbs with the pressure. There is no moment when you splash. Above the critical point, gas and liquid lose their clear boundary. The surrounding material grows dense enough to resist your fall. Gravity is no longer the only force. A passive capsule could slow, float, or break apart here. To keep descending, Jove 01 must push downward. All 4 thrusters burn downward. The pod is no longer falling freely. It is drilling through a planet. Your panoramic window is now useless. Visible light cannot carry an image through this compressed darkness. From here on, every deep view is a reconstruction, built from pressure, gravity, magnetism, and flow. Juno's gravity data suggests the great jets extend about 3,000 kilometers beneath the visible clouds. Juno cannot see those winds. It measures how their moving mass changes the spacecraft's velocity by tiny amounts. Below the strongest jets, weather gives way to the slower circulation of Jupiter's deep interior. The pressure shell moves for the first time. A shallow dent appears between its reinforced ribs. Heat is no longer outside the pod. It is soaking through the hull faster than the pumps can remove it. Ahead, pressure will force hydrogen into a dense molecular fluid. Your hull was never tested there. You cross no visible line, but the sensor model changes. Hydrogen now behaves like a dense liquid. This is not an ocean of cold water. It is hot, opaque hydrogen without waves, bubbles, or air above it. Outside temperatures climb toward thousands of degrees. Inside, the cockpit is warming despite full cooling. The gauge changes units. Pressure is now counted in millions of Earth atmospheres, not thousands. The right exploration light finally collapses.
Hull breach detected.
It no longer matters.
Structural
The
integrity
viewport has
compromised.
been blind for
Emergency lights
kilometers.
failing.
A sharp crack crosses the upper right corner of the glass. The inner pressure layer still holds. Then the antenna folds against the hull. Even if radio could escape this depth, yours is gone. You are now deeper than any signal from a human machine has ever begun. Something strange may be happening outside. Under pressure, helium can separate from hydrogen into descending droplets. It is rain without sky or ground. Helium sinking inward and carrying energy deeper into the planet. The droplets fall past you because they are denser. Jupiter is slowly sorting its own interior. The flow thickens again. Your maneuvering system is consuming more power just to keep moving inward. The right thruster dies. Dense hydrogen catches the uneven hull, and the capsule begins to roll. You fire the remaining 3 in sequence. The roll slows, but there is no spare control left. Main power drops. Emergency red floods the cockpit as the sensor detects a sudden rise in conductivity. Pressure is freeing electrons from individual hydrogen atoms. The fluid begins conducting electricity like a metal. Metallic does not mean a silver floor. It is still a hot, opaque fluid pressing from every direction. You have entered the solar system's largest ocean, an ocean of conducting hydrogen, not water. Jupiter's rapid rotation moves this conductor. Those currents help generate the planet's enormous magnetic field. The radiation that attacked you above began here, in currents flowing tens of thousands of kilometers below.
Magnetic guidance holding.
The same currents now
Warning,
flood your
hull
sensors with
integrity
noise.
failure.
Depth becomes an estimate, not a reading. Moving metal, magnetic fields, and your conductive hull create forces no ordinary submarine could experience. The primary cooling pump stops. A smaller emergency loop is now carrying the entire thermal load. Power falls below 20%. At this rate, life support ends before the pressure does. The pod is becoming smaller. Every rib bends inward, but the pressure seal somehow remains closed. For decades, scientists pictured a small solid core beneath the hydrogen, like a rock hidden in fog. Juno's gravity data changed that picture. The core appears larger, diffuse, and partly mixed into the hydrogen. Rock, ice, and metal are not waiting as a clean ball. Their elements may be dissolved and distributed. You keep waiting for impact. It never comes. Even the core refuses to become a surface. After almost 70,000 kilometers, your capsule is finally approaching the place every layer has been crushing toward. Models place the temperature here near 20,000 Celsius, several times hotter than the Sun's visible surface. Pressure reaches tens of millions of Earth atmospheres. The hull margin falls to 7%. But one number is moving the wrong way. Despite all this pressure, your measured gravity is falling. At the exact center, Jupiter pulls equally from every direction. For one moment, net gravity approaches zero. Weight disappears, but safety does not. The highest pressure in the planet is still squeezing every atom around you. Above you is nearly 70,000 kilometers of planet. There is no surface, no rescue, and no easy direction home. You reached Jupiter's center. Now the only way out is through the planet that destroyed the way in.